Hi beautiful souls, welcome to my channel Elle's Temple. My name is Elle, I'm a goddess guide and intuitive tarot reader. Welcome back to my returning viewers. Welcome if you're new here. I'm so happy to have you all here. I hope you guys are all doing well wherever you are in the world. So today's reading is going to be a full moon in Virgo reading. We've got the full moon in Virgo coming up on Saturday the 24th of February. And this full moon, as always with full moons, it's an energy that's going to amplify everything that is related to the sign of Virgo. Full moons also are a time to bring things into fulfillment, into manifestation. It's a powerful time to work with moon energy to manifest anything. It's also a time when things that have been hidden in the subconscious can come forth, and it's a time for them to be acknowledged and cleared and energetically released from the body, particularly anything emotional or just anything that might have been hidden in the subconscious mind. So often a full moon will kind of dredge forth, you know, if you think of the power of the moon to move the tides of the ocean, it can also move the tides of our inner emotions, our inner emotional selves as well. So this particular full moon, with it being in Virgo, Virgo themes are related to things like health, the home and hearth, work-life balance, practicality. It's an earth sign, so it's a very practical sign. It's also a sign that is a lot related to being of service. A lot of Virgos or Virgo energy can be very about being of service to others. And also things like looking at where one is being a little bit over giving to people, right? And making sure that we're taking time out to, you know, for our own self-care, because quite often with Virgo energy, when it's being heightened like this, it can certainly look like overgiving, you know, over caring for people. You know, Virgos can be a very sensitive energy. They like to be of service. They like to help people, all of that. So sometimes, you know, when it gets out of balance, that can certainly tip into overgiving and things. So a full moon in Virgo is a good opportunity just to take stock of your own routines, of your health, of your well-being, of your self-care in particular. Look at where you can rein some energy back from anything where you're, you know, it's not to say being of service is not good. It definitely is, but it's just making sure that it's in balance, making sure that we're not tipping into over service, over giving, to the detriment of our health, to the detriment of our own well-being. So it's just a little good opportunity to, you know, do those rituals, check in with ourselves, making sure that we're really doing the self-care that we need. Now that can look like, you know, anything from, you know, more milder forms of self-care, like the typical kind of things you read about in magazines and the like, you know, like having a bubble bath and those kind of pampering sort of spa day type things. That by all means is an element of self-care, but you know, really when we're talking about self-care, it goes deeper than that. And it's, whilst it is an opportunity to take a chance to pamper yourself, if that's not something you wouldn't ordinarily do for yourself, you know, a full moon in Virgo is a good time to give yourself the sort of care and attention and pampering that you would maybe, you know, reserve for other people. But also it's more about really caring for our inner selves, our emotional selves, asking ourselves, you know, what do we need, especially in relation to practical things, you know, because Virgo, as I mentioned, is a very practical sign. It is an earth sign. You know, it is related to, you know, the home routine, things like that, health, well-being. So, you know, it's starting to look at, you know, self-care in terms of what do I really need to feel good in my body right now? What do I need right now in terms of my health? You know, where am I tipping a bit out of balance with my health? You know, what do I need to put, what routines do I need to put in place so that I feel better in my life, so that I have better well-being? You know, where do I need to get more organized, right? Because Virgo is also a sign related to organization. So where can I be more organized with, you know, my habits or my routines, or you know, aspects of my daily life to in order to get the things done that I need to, without, you know, getting too burnt out, or without, you know, getting too tired because I'm not organized in my day. So it's just, you know, multi-layered like that. It can also look like certainly analyzing our emotional side as well, looking at, with a full moon, emotions may come to the surface. Things that are hidden in the subconscious mind may come to the surface. So it's just taking a bit of taking stock, taking some time out to really look at what's coming through, not sweeping it under the carpet, allowing ourselves to feel it, allowing it to be released, maybe doing that journaling practice, or speaking with a supportive friend or a counselor or something like that can be beneficial if there is something quite difficult that may come up, or just, noticing it, noticing where, you may need to put in some little rituals and things like that to help, nurture yourself through anything difficult that might be coming up. Okay, my love, so to introduce each of the three piles, if you are drawn to Sub Rosa with Hidden in Plain Sight, Mysteries, Learning and Teaching, you will be pile number 1. Okay, if you are drawn to the Grandmothers with Remember Your Roots, Perspective and Trust the Weavings, you will be pile number 2. So you can see the lovely detail on these cards, okay? And if you are drawn to the Bloom with Creations Realized, Right Time, Harvest and Celebrate, you will be pile number 3. Okay, so pause the video if you need a little bit more time to choose. It may well be with a reading like this that all 3 piles are drawing you in, or more than 1 pile is drawing you in, because there may be self-care messages that you need to sort of cobble together to create your reading from across the different piles. So always trust your intuition. Only ever take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, my loves, I'll see you in your pile. Hi there, pile 1. If you chose Sub Rosa with Hidden in Plain Sight, Mysteries, Learning and Teaching, this will be your reading on the full moon in Virgo, the self-care you need. So I feel like with the mysteries here, Sub Rosa talks about how there's a phrase in ancient times where when the ancient emperors and things would meet, they would say, we're going to meet Sub Rosa, and it was like they would meet under a like a rose awning kind of thing, and it meant that something was going to be a secret conversation. It would be kept secret if it was Sub Rosa, under the rose. So I feel like there's some kind of secret that might be coming to light in this full moon in Virgo, or if not a sort of secret that's been kept for you, just some sort of information that's been perhaps hiding in your subconscious. Something, it could even be related to, some kind of download or something like that, some sort of sudden epiphany, a realization, something that like maybe an experience from like childhood or a past life, for example, or, some sort of connection, suddenly connecting the dots around something related to like, your ancestry, or maybe also something that you are learning about as well. I feel like maybe because we've got learning and teaching here. So maybe through this full moon in Virgo, you might feel a sudden pull to start learning about something in particular, or to deepen your learning around a particular subject area or something like that. Or if you're already starting something, it could be that suddenly things start to coalesce a lot more. Like suddenly you start to have, where there's information that previously felt a bit like it was blocked, or you didn't quite fully grasp it. It's like that layer just suddenly gets pulled away, and you can clearly see exactly like what it is that you've been trying to study all along. You can kind of see more of the nuance is kind of what I'm getting. I see maybe some of you doing meditation. This figure here, cloaked in like a blue robe, like a priestess robe. She's doing like a meditation. She's also got her hands in the triangle, which may be doing a meditation with your hands. If you do this triangle pose over your womb space, that can be a really powerful healing. I'm not quite sure what the word is, like a. It's kind of like it there's something to do with the energy, but there's a certain word for it. Like a yogic type word, but I can't think what it is. If those of you who know things like that, if you're a yoga teacher or something, you might know what that is. If you do a posture where you put that kind of pose on your body, but I hope you get the idea. Doing things like that, and then sort of focusing energy on, like, if you hold it in front of your womb space, or your your generative organs, if you're not a woman, if you hold it in like around your sacral chakra, basically just underneath your belly button, that can be like a very powerful energy activation for the sacral chakra. So maybe some of you are doing something like that, or you could be doing some sort of a, like mudras, I think it is. It might be called a mudra. That just came to me. But yeah, something, maybe you're doing like meditation, or meditation could be a really helpful self-care ritual for you through this time. I feel like taking some time out, she has her eyes closed, so whether it's doing something like an actual guided meditation, just being in a state of meditative rest, allowing yourself to sort of receive and absorb any information from your subconscious that might want to come through. Maybe doing something like a yoga nidra could be really helpful as well, especially if you do need more rest. But I feel like there's something that's going to be activated, something you're going to learn through this time. Whether you're going to be learning about yourself, you're going to be learning about someone else, you're going to be learning about something you're studying, or you're going to have some sort of an epiphany about something related to your life maybe. But there's something that has been like, it's saying like hidden in plain sight. So I feel like it's kind of something that's been within you all along almost, or something you've kind of always known, but maybe not fully seen it, or not fully understood it, or not fully accepted it, or something like that. It's almost like it's been on the verge of your just waiting, kind of behind your cognizance kind of thing, your conscious brain just waiting to kind of come through. And this full moon in Virgo might just give it that little nudge to kind of whoop, just slip through to your conscious brain. Maybe something will come through in a dream. Or you'll get some sort of a strange synchronicity or sign where, some sort of information gets revealed to you, and then suddenly you hear a bizarre synchronicity, like on the radio, or like from someone else talking that, doesn't know anything about your situation. And then they say the exact like words that you've just kind of figured out about something, It could just be revealed in a really strange way, and it could get confirmed in a really kind of strange way like that. And on a certain level, I feel like it is something that you've always sort of known, or it's like just been residing just below your consciousness is kind of what I'm getting. So let's have a look at some of the other cards to get more energy on the table. So what self-care does pile number 1 need? This full moon in Virgo. Okay, we've got inspiring, interesting. Oh, I love this. Yeah, we've got the color blue here on this card, and then this figure is wearing blue, and blue is linked with the throat chakra, which is all about truth and learning and inspiration and knowledge and authenticity and self-expression, being able to express your truth, being able to express yourself. So I feel like this period is going to be very inspiring for you. You're going to learn something significant that's going to really inspire you. Maybe for some of you, if you're you work in some kind of creative field or something like that, you maybe are going to get some sort of inspiration. Like suddenly you'll get some kind of idea that was sort of hidden before, but all of a sudden it's coming to light, and you just suddenly start to feel really, really inspired. And I just saw 1313 on the timer. You may want to look up that angel number. It could have some significance for some of you. But yeah, I just feel like you're going to feel very inspired to work on something that is like related to your truth, or like work on some sort of knowledge or something like that. With the 27, some of you may be 27 years old, or that number could be significant for you. But yeah, I feel like you may be very inspired to like learn something around this time, to suddenly pick up something that you have been maybe thinking about learning about, but now is the time to really like go forward with it. Or if you have been learning about something, to start possibly teaching. For some of you, you may feel more inspired to actually share this knowledge and this wisdom to, help other people in some way. Maybe for some of you, you've been sitting with this wisdom. It's been kind of hidden in plain sight because you've been keeping it hidden. And now the time has come for the truth to come out. The time has come for you to share that wisdom, to share that inspiration, to not just hold all the inspiration with them, but to help inspire other people as well. That might just be for some of you. You'll know whether you sit on more on the learning end of the spectrum or the teaching end of the spectrum. Let me get a goddess dream card, please. Oh, that came flying out. We've got life purpose with manifest your dreams. Wow, this is a powerful full moon for you, pile one. My goodness, I wasn't expecting messages like this at all, but you guys are really on the verge of something really powerful here, or you're already tapping into this powerful energy. You're stepping into living your life purpose, manifesting your dreams. This card reminds me of, there's a card in the in fact, I'll show you because it's on the cover of the deck, the Wild and Sacred Feminine deck with the wolf, and it's the Mastery card. So I feel like that energy is kind of coming through here, that mastery energy. You're mastering your life purpose. There's been something you've been learning about, studying about, training for, and some of you might not even feel like you have. This might have been very organic. You may not have been sort of formally going to some big university or something like that to do something really formal. This could have just been school of life, right? School of hard knocks, school of life, like just university of life, whatever you want to call it. Just through your own experiences, through your own living, you've gained a lot of wisdom, you've gained a lot of truth, and you are living your life purpose. And now there's something like you're going to feel inspired to maybe share some of that wisdom, share some of the learning that you've done through your life experiences, or through maybe things you've just been studying yourself. Maybe some of you are autodidacts and you just learn about a lot of things in your own time, or you've been learning, the mysteries kind of thing I'm getting as well, because it says here the mysteries, it could be just learning about a lot of spiritual topics, learning about, a lot of very esoteric subjects and things like that. And I feel like you are on the path of your life purpose. I feel like this is something that is really waking up in you. I'm seeing the sort of sparkly stars on this person's hands. Maybe some of you do something with your hands. I picked this up in a previous reading. I can't remember if it was the last one I did. That you might be from the same pile when I was talking about that. But yeah, there's you may be like a Reiki healer, or you do something where your physical presence is very healing. Because I'm just seeing all these stars kind of on her hands, or you use your hands in some way, to write, to read cards, for example, to create artwork. Maybe you're a painter or something like that. So you could use your hands in some form as part of your life purpose. That's just one thing that's coming through. I'm hearing like by fall, because I'm seeing the autumn trees here, or fall as you call it in the US, and some other countries I believe call autumn fall as well. Something, it's like by fall you're going to be fully stepped into your life purpose, I feel like. So some of you are already kind of on the path. Some of you are still learning something maybe, or still developing in some way, still being sort of activated. Some of you are kind of just stepping onto it, but I feel like you'll be like fully in it by whenever autumn or fall is next for you. There'll be some sort of a dream that you're manifesting by that point. I'm also getting with the number 22, some of you may be life path 22, which is very spiritual. It's a master number. So master number 11, life path 11 and life path 22, fairly similar, very spiritual, highly intuitive. Often it goes through very difficult life experiences, as I was mentioning. The school of hard knocks is often your learning, where you gain so much wisdom through coming down to earth as like usually some kind of starseed or light worker or empath or something like that. And then you are put through like an accelerated form of learning here in Earth School kind of thing, to gain a lot of wisdom to then be able to teach others and guide others. Oh, the light's just gone out. I'm going to relight that one sec. Sorry about that, pile number one. I just wanted to relight the candle in the middle. So yeah, what was I saying? So life has 22. You've gone through an accelerated school, accelerated learning here on Earth. And often you end up in a position of teaching, in fact, or guiding, not necessarily like a school teacher necessarily, but more like a spiritual teacher, a teacher of the mysteries, a guide, a priestess, a healer, some sort of spiritual counselor, or a spiritual teacher of some sort. In it could be in an existing tradition, so it could be in, for example, like I'm just thinking, if you're interested in goddess stuff, which you might well be if you're here on my channel, being like you may be learning about sort of the mysteries in terms of from a specific tradition that works with goddess energy, like the Wiccan tradition, for example. So you may have been like dabbling in that a bit, or you may have always been a little bit interested in that, but now you're kind of going a bit deeper with it, and you're feeling really called to step into it more powerfully and like embody it, and actually now start to teach it to other people. Which I can feel someone like shaking your head like, no, like, no, I could never do that kind of thing. And I feel like this is something that's gonna perhaps awaken in you throughout this year, where you're going to start to feel more and more inspired by what you're learning about, to then potentially step into your life purpose of then guiding others in some way, and sharing that wisdom, sharing that knowledge, sharing that learning that you've been doing. I feel like this hidden in plain sight is you, really. Wow, what I'm getting is like, this is not only sort of wisdom that you're now accessing, but it's like you've been this figure who's been hidden in plain sight of everyone for so long. And I feel like spirit wants you to kind of like come out of the closet and kind of like this, just like, boo, like out, I'm here, this is me, da-da, kind of thing. She's got her hands up like da-da. And like with the wolf, like I was speaking about this mastery, it's like you're getting to a point of whatever it is you've been learning about or studying or figuring out or experiencing, embodying, the wisdom that because that is very much the feminine path, right? It's that embodiment energy. It's that living through it and experiencing it as an embodied, as an embodied human, I guess. It's not necessarily about learning from books, so that can certainly be part of it. But yeah, I feel like there's a certain level of mastery that you're getting to, but particularly through this full moon in Virgo, just watch out for feeling suddenly very inspired. Maybe, carving out some rituals or some habits, some time for yourself to, study these things or to learn about these things deeper, to give yourself some time to do some meditations. If you are feeling a little bit unsure about exactly what path your life purpose is, maybe doing some meditations through this full moon, you may get some really supercharged energy through the full moon, because that is often a time of amplification, right? And it's often a time when things that are hidden in your subconscious can suddenly just come forward for you. So you could work with your guides, work with your subconscious mind through the full moon, do some kind of like meditation or something like that, to ask any questions that you have about your life purpose, if you are unsure what that is. But I feel like for most of you pick this pile, you probably have an idea. If you don't, if you might not be sure how it's exactly going to unfold, because often, especially if you are being called to the path of being a mystery teacher, or the feminine path or a priestess path or something like that, it's often very circuitous and windy, and it goes off in little tangents, and it's not a direct linear go to school, learn this, go and study this at university, boom boom boom, go and work your way up a corporate ladder. Like, it's not a linear path at all. It's often has you going here, there, and everywhere to kind of gain different experiences and learn different lessons and things. So it may feel a bit unclear, a bit hazy, but I feel like you are going to get that kind of clarity. You are going to feel more inspired through this time. I definitely also see with that throat chakra as well, like giving yourself some time, carving out some rituals to like journal, to express yourself in some way, to work with what you're learning, maybe like getting some of this information that you're downloading out on paper. Like, even if you're really busy with your day job or something, just allowing a little bit of time, on the weekend or something, to carve out to write down everything that's kind of, all the little, like say you go, during the week you're really busy, but you keep getting these little downloads or these little like pieces of wisdom or something that you're like, I wonder what that is. That feels like maybe it could be a book, or it's just, some little nugget of wisdom, little pearl of wisdom. Actually, yeah, pearl. I'm getting pearl with there's the shell here. And it's got the little crescent moon at the bottom, and it looks like little pearls at the top and underneath here. And pearls usually come in little shells like this. So yeah, pearls of wisdom. There might be some pearls of wisdom or knowledge, or again, you might get those random signs or synchronicities, and it's like write those down or get them out on paper or just type them up quickly. And you don't have to necessarily do anything with them just yet if you don't know how they will fit together. But I feel like you'll get more clarity soon as time goes on what you can do with all of that. So let's get some, we'll get some self-care cards to get some more self-care rituals, and then we'll finish up with a goddess card. So what self-care? Oh, interesting. Use your hands. Wow, what did I say about with the life purpose card and this all the stars on her hands? And I felt like some of you do your part of your life purpose is to do something with your hands. Like I said, it could be writing, it could be art of some sort, or some sort of craft, or making something, or it could be like Reiki healing or some sort of direct like healing that uses your hands. So during this full moon in Virgo, doing some sort of ritual that uses your hands. Here it shows someone like doing like at a potting wheel, like making sort of ceramics or something. So maybe for some of you, if you've been feeling called to learn pottery or to take a pottery class, or maybe you've got a pottery, what is it called, a kiln or something. I don't do it, so I'm not sure what all the equipment is, but you might have some of the stuff and it's like time to kind of get it out and like start making something. Or if you're not interested in that, and pottery isn't something that draws you in, or maybe it's some other activity that uses your hands, that could be a really good ritual to help maybe get into that like nice meditative state, so that this inspiration can come through, this learning can come through, these like this wisdom that might be just sort of hidden beyond your conscious brain. Because particularly if you've been very busy and you've been using your logical brain a lot during the day for work or whatever it might be, it's like if you can find some time to do something that's really like tactile and takes you out of your conscious brain kind of thing, like it's really meditative and quite repetitive, or something like that, it's quite like almost like helps you get into sort of a trance state. So it could be like sewing, or some sort of a like or painting even, or something like that, where you're using, or cooking even as well, where you're just using your hands and you can allow your mind to kind of wander. Because I feel like you might get some significant inspiration if you do that. And this could be also for those of you whose life purpose does involve using your hands. This could really be a time to start either learning more about that practice, if that's something that you need to kind of advance your learning with a little bit, or getting to a stage where you can start teaching what it is that you've been learning, this whatever this thing is that you have been doing with your hands. Maybe you're feeling called to teach Reiki, or to teach pottery, right, or to teach some sort of like healing system that uses your hands, for example. So it could be any number of things. It's a general reading, so just hopefully you get the idea with the kind of energy that's coming through to apply it to whatever your situation is. And we have music as well, so yeah, doing some kind of, it looks like this figure's doing drumming, so possibly listening to some kind of shamanic drumming could be very helpful as well, to like get into a state of inspiration, to be in a receptive state, to be able to get any downloads through that you need, or any healing through that you need, any sort of remembering through that you need, or any clarity through that you need. There could be something that might come through music. You may also get like signs or synchronicities from your guides through songs. You could just be out walking and then a car drives past with a certain song, and the lyrics are just like bang on exactly what you were just reading about earlier that day, or something like that. And it's like, whoa, that is just uncanny. that's a synchronicity, you know. So some kind of signs and synchronicities may be coming through music, but I feel like taking some time out to, you know, listen to some calming music, listen to something like shamanic drumming or some kind of healing music could be very helpful as well to help you like access this inspiration that is due to kind of come through for you. So let's finish up with a goddess card. So what goddess is guiding pile number? Whoa, oh, I love this. Freya, sensuality, goddess Freya, beautiful. So yeah, there's this energy of like Freya is the Norse goddess of beauty and love, and she's often confused with Frigg, actually, who I just did a blog post about. So they certainly share many domains. They're both fertility goddesses, and they both ruled over very similar domains, and it's often thought that they were the same goddess, but they do sort of have distinct differences. And Freya is a very sensual goddess and a goddess of love, whereas Frigg is more of a goddess of sovereignty. So I feel like Freya's energy is very it's very much about like using that. It's what I was talking about earlier with that feminine path, about that embodied wisdom. That is Freya. It's like very embodied wisdom. She's very wise. She's also a goddess who with, like I said, with Freya as well, she's got that sort of fertility aspect, and she's very connected with the sacral chakra, with sensuality, with like using what you're inspired by, and we've got inspiration there, or inspiring here, you know, using what inspires you. So I'm kind of seeing like, you know, some of you might be a visual artist or something. You might use like you might sort of use different like modalities or something to create your art or something like that. I'm just kind of seeing someone working with like different you know, maybe you do installations or something like that, but it's like using using your body to create something, using what's like lighting you up, what lights you up, what gets you fired up, what gets you moving, what makes you want to make something or create something. You know, how can you use your body to create something, or how can you start to notice the signals in your body as to like what does inspire you. So particularly for those of you, if you're not feeling super close to stepping into your life purpose, like if you're still a little bit unsure about what that is, connecting with that, like your sensual information, as in the information that your senses are giving you, can be a good start to tap into what is really inspiring to your soul. So starting to notice when, you know, someone's talking about something, or you see something on a film or a TV program, or you read about something in a magazine, and you know your heart skips a little beat, or you sort of almost catch your breath, or you feel really like you just feel a sense of excitement, or you notice yourself smiling, or you notice yourself kind of talking faster when you're talking about the subject, or friends say to you like, oh well, you're always so lit up when you talk about XYZ, you know, when you talk about tarot or astrology or Reiki or, you know, pottery or whatever it might be. It's like, you know, there's something embodied about it. It's like your body will give you signs, your senses, you know, connecting to your senses will be very informative for you, and it will help kind of guide you along and pull you along further along the path of what is inspiring and what would be helpful to like keep learning about and delving into. But for those of you that do know, you know, what your life purpose is and all of that, I just feel like this is, you know, even more sort of connecting with that embodied wisdom, you know, that again, that wisdom from your senses, the wisdom from you know, what's coming from your embodied experience, and trusting that embodied experience as much as like anything that you've sort of been, say, formally learning as well. Because, you know, nudges, those little intuitive nudges and gut feelings that we can get can be so, so powerful and give us so much, give us so much to work with, so much more to work with often than what our logical brains may know. So there's something kind of around your senses giving you guidance at this time, giving you wisdom at this time, and you can call on Goddess Freya during this full moon portal to help you connect with your senses, to help you connect with your body, to help you feel, particularly if you have been feeling a bit like, maybe not very passionate or not very inspired lately. Maybe you don't know what your life purpose is, or you don't know what sort of what self-care would really suit you, or something you haven't quite found your mojo yet, or something. Connecting with Freya can help you kind of connect with that sensual side of yourself, that passionate side of yourself, and help you find that inspiration again. So also, I'm kind of seeing if someone, you might be an artist or something like that, and you might have gone through a period of just not feeling very motivated or very inspired as to what your next project should be or something. You can call on Goddess Freya for that as well, to help you kind of feel that reconnection to your to get that sort of like fertile energy back, to sort of fertilize those ideas of like what could be the next best thing to work on for you. So I feel like those are all the messages that I have for you, pile number one. I hope that resonated for you. Leave me a comment below if it did. I would love to hear from you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps tell the YouTube algorithm what content is resonating for you guys. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of my community. I would love to have you here. All the best with this full moon in Virgo, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. If you chose the grandmothers with remember your roots perspective, trust the weavings, this will be your reading on the self-care you need right now for the full moon in Virgo. So straight off the bat, pile number 2, I'm getting a strong message that someone's grandmother who may have passed away may be wanting to connect with you through this full moon, or you may get messages. For those of you who are able to channel yourself or connect, you may have a direct connection with your grandmother's spirit or a grandmother figure in your life. It may not be like through birth, I'm hearing. It could be just a grandmother type figure to you. For others of you, if you have a grandmother in here on earth still alive, then this may be a good time to reach out to them or to connect with your again, like either a direct grandmother or a grandmother figure who may have some wisdom for you or some guidance for you or some support for you. There's just a strong sort of energy of connecting on with your ancestors. So for those of you who don't have a strong connection with them, or maybe they weren't the best person for you when you were younger, or you live sort of really far away and it's difficult to be in contact with them or something like that, then maybe just doing like a guided meditation to connect in with your ancestors, or even listening to a reading about messages from your ancestors or messages from a grandmother or something like that, because there may be something that's trying to come through from, if not sort of a grandmother in here on earth, if you don't have a good relationship with them or something like that. It could be that there's like a grandmother type figure in your ancestry. So it could be sort of further down the line, who wants to kind of give you messages about something, who wants to kind of support you in some way. There might be something related to a perspective that you have on a situation in your life that they may be able to help you with. It could be, just one example that's coming to mind is, say you might be having a difficult relationship right now, or be in a conflict, or find it difficult to understand, like, your mother or something like that, or a father even, a parent figure. And it might be that either this grandparent in birth, like in real life, or this ancestor, through spirit, can give you some perspective on their behavior, or on the dynamic, or on like maybe what they went through or something like this, or why they are the way they are, or why this had to happen in this way, or why you were born into that family, or it could be something kind of along those lines. That's just one example that I'm getting through. For others of you, I'm kind of getting a strong vibe of someone whose grandmother is just really nurturing and really caring and like really supportive, and like will cook you really nice food maybe, or because I'm just seeing with the, like, it looks like a kind of cauldron here. So, you know, maybe someone's grandmother is like, you know, if you're able to go and visit them or something, like they'll just be the exact person that you need to see right now. They'll be able to give you the nurturing energy that you need right now. Maybe something related to like your physical health or habits or something, because thinking about full moon in Virgo, you know, it might bring up things related to health and habits and well-being. Maybe you've been quite stressed out at work, for example, and if you just take a little time out to go and, you know, visit your grandmother or something, that they'll like kind of look after you, and you know, or you'll look after them or something, and it'll just be a really nice like sort of symbiotic thing of just caring for each other and receiving that care and support back. And yeah, there's something kind of around you know, it again, it doesn't have to be like, if this is not something available to you through a birth grandmother, it might be that there's just a grandmother type in your life that you can go and visit or connect with over this time. It also may help you with trust the weavings as well, that connection, whether again it's in person or through spirit. It will help you trust maybe something that's like unfolding in your life right now, some sort of a process maybe that is very I'm getting with the spirals here, it's very cyclical. So this could be you know, this could be sort of something karmic that's kind of going round and round kind of thing, something within your family, or just some kind of cycle that you're stuck in perhaps, or there's just something going on in your life that just doesn't seem to really make a lot of sense or something, and they may, their wisdom or this connection may help you to sort of trust what's kind of unfolding in your life right now. So let's get a little bit more energy on the table. Get a Sacred Feminine card. Ooh, interesting. Okay. This makes a lot of sense in the context of what I was saying about possibly for some of you who are speaking with a grandparent, again, whether in spirit or in person, to get some perspective, some new perspective on perhaps someone in your life, possibly a parent figure, because maybe there was someone who abandoned you in childhood. Like, yeah, I'm kind of getting a strong message of like someone who's possibly your mother or a mother figure wasn't around for you, and so maybe your grandmother raised you or something like that. Like maybe you were abandoned by your birth parents, so then your grandparents kind of became more your parents or something along those lines. So it could be that connecting in with your grandmother at this time, or with your grandmother in spirit, could really help you to gain some perspective on, you know, why you were abandoned, why this happened, maybe to understand, you know, a little bit more about maybe where your parent was at that time. Yeah, just to kind of like, it's almost like to illuminate something. I'm just seeing with this little, hopefully you can see, this little candle kind of like in the back of, at the bottom of her brain, in the back of her head. It's like something's going to light up, like suddenly something's going to be illuminated, something's going to come to light. And that is very full moon energy. Often things will come to light in the full moon, right? It's an illuminating energy, it's an amplifying energy, it's an energy that brings something from the subconscious to the surface. So yeah, there could be something that like some sort of a wound, like abandonment wound, that suddenly you're receiving some kind of illumination about, you're getting clarity on it, or you're getting a new perspective on it. You're understanding perhaps why it happened, how it happened, maybe, you know, more about the circumstances that the person was in, how they felt at the time. You know, and again, this isn't to sort of justify or anything, or to say that you then have to be in a position to be like, okay, that's fine, well, I forgive them now that I understand that. No, when it's not saying that. It's just, you know, maybe there's some perspective that you haven't seen up to this point. And it's interesting, it looks like there's a full moon right here. So it feels like maybe this wound could be being activated through this time, and possibly connecting with a grandmother, whether here in person or in spirit, will help you to understand this wound, and maybe to actually clear it out, because full moons, as I mentioned in the introduction, they are all about releasing as well. It's about bringing things into like fullness, and then like if some kind of wound or subconscious block or something comes to the surface, it's a powerful time to then be able to release it. So possibly if you have been struggling with a karmic cycle, as I was mentioning, going round and round in circles of feeling some kind of abandonment wound, and possibly then meeting that again and again through, say, romantic partnerships or something like that, and feeling constantly like, they mirror exactly what has been going on in your childhood, and or triggering an abandonment wound, maybe not necessarily where it's being acted out by a partner, but where you just notice that there's a trigger that keeps coming up. It could be that connecting with a grandmother, connecting with an ancestor, could be really helpful to understanding this and healing it, potentially. Or at least just, like I'm hearing like knowledge is power, right? And I'm noticing now there's a cobweb up in the corner. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh, hopefully I can bring it close enough. Okay, you'll just have to trust me. There's a cobweb in the corner of the card. It's just a little bit, the lighting is a little bit dim for some reason to show it. But yeah, which is kind of giving me the vibes kind of at the top of her head. It's like, this abandonment wound is, like it's been there for a long time. It's kind of like an old cobweb that's hanging around. It's like this cobweb needs to be kind of cleared away. It's not to say like you can just spiritually bypass this wound, or just, by saying, oh, okay, yeah, I was abandoned. Okay, great. Can we move on with my life now, please? Like, not that I'm saying you would do that, but it's like, this is an opportunity for you to heal that wound and release any old, like debris is what I'm getting, like old energetic debris that's still kind of stuck to your emotional body. And to gain a new perspective on it, and possibly, like energetically kind of move out of being stuck in that sort of karmic trap. Very interesting. Also, pile 1 wasn't the messages I was expecting for self-care messages, and this pile is a lot deeper than the messages I was expecting for self-care. So this is why I did give the caveat in the intro that self-care is not always about pampering. It's not always have a bubble bath. It's sometimes a lot deeper than that. Self-care is often acknowledging that there is a wound, that you are being triggered, and then asking yourself, okay, what do I need to do? How can I take responsibility to heal this wound, to bring myself back into a state of emotional well-being again? So yeah, very interesting. I'm also seeing with the number 32, some of you may be 32. Whoa, that came flying out. My goodness. Spiritual insight and sacredness. Card number 32, you're kidding me. Wow, that hardly ever happens. 2 card number 32s. That's incredible. You may want to look up. There might be like something in the angel number 3232. Definitely feel like that's a double confirmation for some of you. If you are 32, this is like a message for you. And spiritual insights, we've got insight and perspective. So there's some kind of insight that's coming to light for you through this full moon. There's something that's going to come to the surface, some kind of spiritual wisdom. And we've got this figure standing here with the full moon right behind her, and this kind of like flow of energy down, which is kind of a little bit similar to the, like, hopefully you can see the detail on this card, this like flow of energy kind of coming down from this sort of grandmother figure sort of thing into this cauldron. They've both got cauldrons. Wow, this is amazing. I love the synchronicities in this pile. There's a lot of purple here as well. So purple is linked to the third eye chakra, which is all about intuition, and the crown chakra, which is all about your spiritual connection. So yeah, definitely for those of you who may not have a grandmother in the 3D reality, connecting with them through spirit, connecting with them, asking your guides if you don't already have a direct connection, or you can do this loads of guided meditations online, maybe doing it as close to as possible the full moon. You might find it just suddenly opens a bit of a portal to have that connection and to receive that spiritual wisdom, that spiritual insight that you're meant to get. Yeah. And it's interesting, there's, I was talking about like possibly for some of you, this could be something related to an abandonment wound from a mother figure. And we've got like a crone here, which could be the grandmother, a mother figure, and then, you know, a maiden here. So this could be, you know, some sort of interesting insight that comes through from, you know, a grandmother figure about your mother or something like that. I'm picking up some of you might have had a similar situation, or this could just be one person might have had something a little bit along the lines of like Cheryl Strayed, who wrote Wild. You might sort of resonate with her story, either her story, or there could be a story, and she's got an amazing book called something like the life, oh gosh, I can't remember it. It's like, it's got all her columns, her Dear Sugar columns, because she was like in sort of agony kind of thing. I think she's still got a podcast, or she had a podcast for a while as well. But I would highly recommend reading the book, which I can't remember. And if I remember at the end of the reading, I'll try and link it, because there might be one of the columns. The book is amazing. I would highly recommend it. Like, her writing is just out of this world, and the guidance that she gives to some of these poor people is just incredible. And there could be one particular situation in that book that mirrors exactly what's going on for you, that her writing may be very healing, or may provide some insight, or some what's the word, like, it's like a sudden, like a understanding, like it will just kind of like land, something will kind of land, like, and it will just be like, it, like I said, it won't mean to you know, kind of say, oh, it's all fine and I'm okay now and don't worry that happened. It's just like, there's just something that allows you to kind of move forward, almost like clear out those old cobwebs or something like that. So possibly that book could be very helpful for some of you. Let's get some self-care cards, and then we'll finish up with a goddess card. So could we have some self-care rituals for pile 2? What self-care rituals can pile 2? What self-care rituals can pile 2? Wow, build strength. Interesting. Okay, wow, interesting. I'm seeing, first of all, I'm noticing the really open third eye here. So maybe this could be both about building physical strength, but also building your intuitive strength, your intuitive connection as well. But also maybe doing some sort of physical activity, like, you know, maybe kickboxing, or a class that kind of, you know, uses sort of like fighter energy kind of thing to like maybe like work through some of that. Like maybe if you have some anger in your stored in your body around this abandonment, if that resonated for you, or there's like some sort of built up energy that needs to be like physically released in some way. Yeah, possibly doing some sort of a, yeah, like boxing or kickboxing or martial arts, even something along those lines. What other self-care? Ooh, here we go. We've got positive affirmations, card number 41. I'm just noticing the healthy and happy. I love myself. We've got another, like the third eye kind of really open on her forehead here. So yeah, a lot of like intuitive downloads and wisdom coming through. Yeah, it says like brave, beautiful, worthy, grateful, I choose love. So yeah, maybe working with some kind of positive affirmations, like picking ones that actually resonate for you and make sense to you and don't feel like a huge stretch. So, you know, if saying I love myself just feels impossible for you right now, then just starting with like a sort of step towards that, like I'm learning to choose myself, or I'm learning to put myself first, or I'm learning to care for myself, or sort of like a graduation, you know. Or if you can't, you know, if it's something like I am worthy, if that's too strong, it's like I'm learning to tune into my self-worth, or I'm learning to heal my self-worth, or my self-worth is growing every day, or something like a sort of a stage or so before, you know, yeah, I am worthy of everything, great, and I am loved. Because sometimes I know from personal experience when sometimes in the past, even now occasionally, when I listen to really, really uber cherry positive affirmations, you know, whether it's in a meditation thing, like a guided thing, or, you know, I'll read ones that people have written. And if they don't vibe for me, like, there's no point me saying them, because you're just not in the right energy to then, like, it's not going to really do anything if you don't believe it at all. So that's why I kind of just want to offer. For some of you, this might be like, yep, cool, okay, yeah, I need to do my affirmations again. Yep, I know which ones I need to do, or I know which channel that I like, who's got some good ones that I can follow. In which case, you know, great, that's brilliant. If you have the ones that resonate for you and you know how to do that, brilliant. But for others of you, if you're new to this, or you've tried before and you're just like, yeah, but I just don't believe anything they say because it doesn't feel like it's true, right? Especially if you are still in this state a lot of the time, if you're feeling very abandoned, or you have a very big abandonment wound because of something that happened in childhood, you may really struggle with some of these things. So it's like, you know, doing it kind of gradually can help to, you know, like just starting to prime the brain with like little steps, and maybe creating your own, so that they're in your own words and they resonate for you, and they're true to kind of like just the next step along on the positivity spectrum from where you are. So say if you were feeling really low with regard to happiness, like say you're just like, yeah, but I just really don't feel happy. So saying I am happy just feels like a lie. So, you know, it could be like, what is the next step up from where you're at right now? Like, you know, I am learning to find what brings me more contentment, or I'm learning to feel a little bit better each day, or just, you know, like little baby steps with it, if that is a struggle, and sort of just, yeah, gradually working up. I feel like there might be one more actually. One more. Whoa. Dream journal. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I feel like possibly messages from your grandmother's, or sorry, from a grandmother figure, or an ancestor might come through your dreams. So you may get some like insight, some spiritual insight, some wisdom, some like guidance, some perspective through a dream. So maybe keeping a dream journal through this full moon time, because full moons often, right, they activate our dreams, and they can be a little like left field, because it's like the moon is like working to bring to the conscious mind things that have been hidden in the subconscious mind. So, and the dream time is often a perfect time to communicate that information to you if during your waking hours you can't give time or space to that information, or to that, you know, like to healing a certain wound or whatever. It might be too painful to kind of look at in your day-to-day life, but you may get some guidance through in a dream. You know, you may just get like, you might hear one thing, or it might be like, you know, a certain healing modality to try, or a certain like you know, meditation to do, or you might hear the name of a channel, or visualize something that could be really helpful for you, or see a scene play out or something. It could be any number of things. But yeah, I feel like for some of you, you might get some guidance in your dreams. So starting to keep a dream journal every morning, if you can, could be provide a lot of insight for you during this time. So very interesting. Okay, let's put those over here. Just move everything over, and we'll finish up with a goddess card. The goddess card to what goddess is overseeing. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love this for you. Pile number 2. We've got Goddess Rhiannon, card number 29, with Amour de Soi, which is self-love, which is just perfect. I absolutely love this. So Goddess Rhiannon, if you want to know more about her, I have a blog post about her on my blog, elstemple.com. The link to my blog is below in the description box. And in that blog post, I go into a bit of a detail about the goddess, her background, the myth. I go into detail about how to work with that particular goddess, and then also rituals to help connect with her energy. So it may be that there are some rituals that could be supportive for you right now. And in that article also talk about how Rhiannon is the goddess of dreams. She can help you connect with the dream world. She can help you uncover wisdom and spiritual insight in your dreams. So this is a perfect goddess to get. And she can also really help you with self-love. That's the most important thing. So I feel like particularly if you have had some kind of abandonment wound that may be being triggered over this full moon in Virgo, so practicing self-love, practicing those positive affirmations, working with Goddess Rhiannon to help connect with a sense of self-love, and any kind of healing you need to do so that you can feel, like so that you can start to work on that self-love. And it's interesting, she's pictured here with a full moon as well. So yeah, I feel like this goddess is really coming through big time during this full moon cycle for you to help you feel more loving towards yourself. Because I feel like, with full moon and Virgo energy, Virgo is often a sign where, it's about being of service, as I spoke about in the introduction. So some of you may be very loving and caring to others and very supportive to others, but you may really struggle to show that same love to yourself. So I feel like this full moon in Virgo is going to highlight that. It's going to bring out where you're a little bit out of balance with maybe like giving to others and being supportive to others, and where you need to show that love to yourself. Okay, my lovely pile number twos, I feel like those are all the messages I have for you. All the best with this full moon in Virgo. Leave me a comment below if it resonated, or just drop me an emoji. It really helps my channel out so much, and I so appreciate each and every one of you who's been commenting. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps tell the algorithm what content is resonating for you guys. And hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of the community. I would love to have you here, and it really supports my channel so much to have you subscribed. All the best with this full moon, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, part number 3. Welcome to your reading on what self-care you need right now for the full moon in Virgo. So good news for you, pile number 3. The song that came through as I was just about to start filming your pile was Celebrate Good Times, Come On. So you guys are in for some sort of a celebration. I don't know what it is that you've been doing or what you're celebrating, but I feel like it's something big, something important. I feel like with creations realized here, the bloom, it's like you're really starting to blossom in your life. Some sort of project you've been working on, something at work maybe, something in your career, or something personal as well. It could be like something in your love life. Maybe you're getting engaged or something like that, or you're getting pregnant, or could be any number of things. But I feel like you're celebrating something, or even if there isn't anything big, I feel like the energy that's coming through, or the self-care that you need, is to tap into an energy of celebrating yourself and celebrating what you have achieved so far. So often in personal development and the spiritual journey, we're so focused on like shadow work and what do we need to improve on, and what do we need to get better at, and how can we evolve, and sort of always sort of being future projected, or in the past, like looking at sort of what we need to heal and all that kind of thing. And sometimes there needs to be a moment, and part of self-care also is just taking a little bit of time every now and again to take stock and celebrate ourselves and how far we've come, how many things we have healed, how much we have achieved, how much we have progressed, how much we've grown as a person, what things that we've experienced in our lives that we maybe never thought we would, all of that kind of thing. So even if you chose this pile and you don't necessarily, if you're sitting there going like, oh, well, I haven't had anything really major to celebrate, like I don't have sort of an engagement or a thing that is like a societal kind of expectation of celebration, like you can still celebrate yourself, and that is part of the self-care for this pile. I feel like most of you, even if you don't have sort of a big a big sort of event or something that you're celebrating, I feel like there's something around how you're just blooming and how you're growing, and this could be related to just your own personal development. Like there's something that you're starting to you're just really blooming in your own personal life, or in your own spiritual growth, or possibly creatively as well, because with creations realized and harvest, it could be that some of you You know, you've been working on a creative project for a time, and it's like now time to you know, take stock, celebrate, look at how far you've come. Maybe it hasn't completely finished yet. Maybe there's still some tweaks, or there's still some little bits to go, or it still needs to be like, you know, picked up by a publisher or picked up by an art gallery or something like that, you know. But it's like you've got to celebrate how far you've come with it and how much work you've put into it, and you know, that your creations are in the process of being realized, right? So there's something very beautiful that you should be celebrating in your life right now. So let's have a look at get some more energy on the table. So what is pile 3 celebrating? I want to know. Ooh, okay, we've got loyal, card number 7, with this peacock here. Okay, so there's either someone or something you've been loyal to, whether it's this could be a person, so this could be, you know, getting engaged, getting married, something like that, because you're a very loyal person, or your partner's very loyal to you and they want to then prove that loyalty by, you know, getting married or something. Or I feel like this is more you being loyal to yourself first and foremost, or being loyal to some sort of project or creation that you've been working on. You've been really committed to it. You've stayed the course. You've been loyal to something. Or this could be in a job as well. Maybe some of you are getting promoted because that, you know, and you're celebrating the loyalty, or your company or your boss is celebrating your loyalty to that company, your loyalty as an employee. So it could be that. Those are just a few different examples I'm getting, but I'm also seeing with the peacock here, you know, peacocks are kind of, you know, that energy of like, sort of showing off, if you like they show off their beautiful plumage of feathers, and in a good way. Like, I'm not saying like you're going to turn into an arrogant show off or anything. I just mean like, you know, there's this energy of something that you've been maybe displaying, something that you've been like sort of putting out on the world, some sort of creation that you've been working on to bring into like physical reality. You know, like I'm kind of getting a vibe of someone who's been, like, for example, you've been working on some sort of art piece or something that you've then entered into like a competition or something, or you've been writing something that you've then submitted to, you know, a magazine publisher, or, you know, it's that kind of thing of like you've sort of displayed your work. Or even, you know, say some of you are students and you're at school or at university or something, and you're displaying your you know, your final project or something along those lines. And it's like, yeah, this energy of what you've been working hard towards, what you've been really committed and consistent and loyal towards is like paying off in some way. There's going to be some sort of harvest from that and something to celebrate as a result of that. And even if you don't necessarily get the exact harvest you expected, you should still celebrate how far you've come and how loyal you were to this project, because you just never know what might then come about off the back of it. Even if you haven't yet get what you expected, there's something that's like going to bloom for you, some sort of, it's like this is your right timing. And I'm just seeing like all the feathers on here, which is symbolic of like you know, angel messages and things, or like your angels. So some of you might see, if you start to see feathers, that could be a sign or a confirmation that something that you've been loyal towards is going to pay off in some way. You're going to get some sort of a harvest or something. This could be like 7. This could be in 7 days. It could be on the 7th month, so July. Or in 7 months from now when you're watching, which we're in February, so that would be August anyway. Interesting. Yeah, it could be that's when the kind of the harvest is going to happen. And we also had card number 25 with alchemic. So I'm getting a couple of different things from this. This could be, on a literal level, this could be like something that you've been making. So something you've been sort of working on, like creating, like if you're some sort of creative multimedia artist or something, it could be some sort of you know, creation that is an alchemy of lots of different things you've been learning. Like it's a beautiful alchemy of, you know, like I'm hearing sort of like cross-disciplinary work. So maybe some of you are studying something and you've done some sort of final project that's weaving together and alchemizing together lots of different things you've been learning about. So there could be a specific creation that has been an alchemical process. This could also be for those of you who aren't, say an artist or a student or making something. Say this creation, sorry, this celebration energy is more about celebrating yourself, celebrating your how you're blooming, how you're growing as a person, your spiritual journey or your life journey, all of that. If it could be celebrating some sort of a alchemy that you've grown through yourself internally, in terms of alchemizing pain into wisdom, alchemizing trauma into teaching, alchemizing, something very difficult and heavy, and, some sort of a difficult karma or something, and just working with it, growing from it, doing the shadow work, and then, creating something beautiful out of it, or it could even be, the creation that you are making. I'm kind of getting a vibe of like, a lot of famous songs, right, from, some of the worst heartbreaks and things that the singer might have experienced. Like, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Adele, her, I can't even remember the name of the song now, but her kind of famous one. That's, a lot of those, whether you like it or not, whatever. The point is like, there's a lot of artists who they're very famous songs that are very well known and very heart-wrenching and get people to feel a result of alchemy. They're a result of having gone through, the person has experienced something difficult, and then they've taken that pain and alchemized it into something beautiful. They've alchemized it into a creation, into a song, into art, into poetry, into a book, whatever it might be. So some of you, I'm kind of getting a fairly strong creative vibe from this pile. Also with the color blue on this alchemic card, this is linked with the throat chakra, which is all about expressing yourself, creative self-expression, being authentic, expressing your truth, all of that. So maybe this creation is something that has resulted in some kind of expression of some sort. I'm getting also spoken word poet as well. So some of you might have put some sort of very difficult experience into like written your own poem and then performed it or something. Because I did get a little bit of a performing vibe with the peacock energy, like some of you having to sort of go on stage or to present your work in some way or to submit your work to someone or something. So very interesting energy, but I feel like you're being you're everything you've been doing or working towards, whether it is this more internal process, whether it is an external process, it's like coming to some sort of culmination point where it's like the exact right time. It's like right time, right place is what I'm hearing. There is going to be some kind of harvest. And also we've got 2 7s because we've got the number 7 here, and then 25, which in numerology reduces to 7. 7 is a very spiritual number. It's also the number of a completion of a cycle. We have like 7 days of the week and seven main chakras and things like that. So it's often to do with like completing and closing out karmic cycles and like, gaining spiritual wisdom. So for some of you, if it's not sort of something related to celebrating something more specific, this could be just celebrating your own personal evolution, your own spiritual journey. I'm also seeing with the tortoise here as well, I'm kind of getting like the tortoise in the hare. So maybe for some of you, this has been a really long time coming. Like you've been very loyal and dedicated to this work or this self-work or this process for a really, really long time. It's been something like the tortoise in the hare fable. He just keeps plodding away. He doesn't need to kind of run around and do anything crazy. He's just like, I'm gonna get there. Like I'm gonna get there eventually. I just need to keep putting one foot in front of another, like slowly but surely, and he ends up winning the race because he's just humble, he's loyal, he's committed, he just goes the distance. So there's something maybe for some of you where this particularly if it's like an alchemical healing process, it's been a slow, long, arduous journey. I feel like it's been something you've been just slowly kind of working towards for a long time. I'm kind of also getting like the turtles from Finding Nemo. So some of you might be it's like kind of, they're really old souls, I feel like. So some of you might be really old souls. Can we get a goddess dream? Wow, strength. Know your strength. Beautiful. Card number 33. Some of you might be 33 years old, so this could be confirmation of that. Yeah, I feel like for those of you who resonate with this, like the personal alchemy, the spiritual alchemy you've been doing, where you've been, you know, taking very difficult experiences, doing the shadow work, you know, alchemizing painful things into wisdom, you know, doing that healing work on yourself, like just slowly but surely evolving yourself, you know, getting to a point where you can start really blooming in your life. I feel like, you know, one of the things you should be celebrating about yourself is how strong you are, and how much strength you've had to galvanize in order to alchemize everything that you have, or in order to go through everything that you have. Yeah, it's like strongly coming through, like know your strength, like you are really strong here. And we've got a lion here, so yeah, you've got this like fierce energy to you, this really yeah, this really like it's like a subtle strength though. I feel like you're not, when I tune into your energy, I'm not getting this like really ferocious, sassy kind of in your face strength. It's very quiet strength. Again, it's that old soul kind of energy. It's like you just know that on a deep level, maybe if you wouldn't consciously admit it, on a deep level, you know you're really strong, and you know that you're an old soul, and you know that you can alchemize anything that comes your way ultimately, and you can stay loyal to yourself or your spiritual growth, your spiritual journey, because you have the strength to do that. Like you've always had that quiet strength and quiet confidence to achieve this, to do this, whatever this is. And I'm just seeing the grapes here as well, which is symbolic of harvest. So we've got, yeah, a double message of harvest here with the bloom and harvest, and then the grapes, which are all about harvest. They come out at harvest time. So yeah, there's some sort of abundance, or some sort of a acknowledgement or recognition, or something that is going to be, yeah, something that's going to be harvested for you. Wow, very beautiful energy. So I feel like maybe there might be something in the guidebook about this particular card that I'm kind of missing. Let me just check for you. Okay, so okay, I'm just going to read it out. So while it may sometimes be hard to feel it, you possess a goddess gifted inner strength and fortitude. Inanna is here to remind you of your innate power. She will show you how to connect to that inner strength and deal with any difficulty or adversity that comes your way. Stand strong and feel the power rising up through your body. Let your fears go to be carried off and transmuted by Inanna's doves. Inanna will teach you how it feels to be impervious to any negativity that you may encounter. She may offer you her suit of armor. When you wear it, you will feel resilient and powerful. You may have been knocked, hurt, and felt vulnerable, but now is your time to stand bold and proud. Take courage from Inanna's lions and hear her call to you. Feel me, I am in you, and you are in me. Together we are strong. We can do whatever we choose. Embrace your ambitions and reach for the sky. Inanna will be there glinting for you as the evening star and shining as the morning star, reminding you to know your strength. Take time to sit with this feeling. Let it fill every cell of your body with the vibration of powerful possibility. When you truly make this connection, it is like switching on a light. Suddenly all becomes clear, doubts and obstacles fade away, and with head held high, you can walk boldly into your dream future knowing that Inanna has your back. And the affirmation is, I am strong and impervious to any negativity. When I connect to my inner strength, all things are possible. Wow. Yeah, I'm getting through that. Maybe for some of you, as a result of like a specific creation that you've realized and sort of released into the world or put out there, like maybe you might receive some, you know, negative like jealousy from people, or criticism from people who are actually just jealous, or possibly something like that, some sort of a yeah, someone might try and knock you back because like it's your time to kind of shine, and it's your time to sort of put your beauty out there, put your work out there, your creations out there in some way. So I feel like you can call on Inanna to like help sort of support you through any of that, and to know that you are really strong and you don't need to take that energy on. Let's get some self-care oracle cards to finish, and then we'll finish off with a goddess card to complete. Whoa, that came out fast. Actually, hold on. That was from the previous pile. So let's just do a quick shuffle because I feel like it's... Okay. Pile 3, please. Could I have a self-care card for pile 3? Could I get some self-care? What pile? Oop, there we go. Make a meal. Okay. So maybe cooking could be really helpful. Ritual to connect with. Maybe carve out some time when you've got a bit of extra time to like make a really nice meal for yourself or something like that. We've got number 32 here and number 33, which is like a progression, so that's interesting. Some of you may be 32, 33, or that's just a sign that something's like progressing in your life as well, like you're going up a level or something, you're increasing in like wisdom in something. But yeah, maybe doing something with your hands, or cooking a really nice or really healthy meal for yourself. Possibly also full moon in Virgo, as I spoke about in the introduction. Virgo can be linked with health. It rules the 6th house, which is about health and routines and habits and work-life balance and things like that. So maybe using this as an opportunity if you've not been eating super healthily, because there's a lot of like fruit and veg and stuff on here. So maybe like, cooking yourself a really healthy meal, or like starting to get back into healthier eating habits, or starting to get back into like cooking, spending a bit of time, cooking a really lovely meal for yourself. That could be very supportive for you through this full moon in Virgo. What other whoa, okay, interesting. So we've got both make a meal and nourish your temple. So there's like a double message about nourishment here, because I've sort of picked up with this about sort of perhaps eating more healthy food, and then we've got nourish your temple, treating your body as a temple. So yeah, maybe to support yourself, particularly if you are some sort of creative, or you're working really hard on some kind of project. Maybe you haven't had a lot of time to look after your body, or to really like nourish yourself, or to care for your body, to care for your health. So there's like a kind of double message about really nourishing yourself. But also doing what you like, other activities that you need to nourish your temple, your body as a temple as well. So like, maybe self-massage, or getting out in nature, or meditation, or something like that. Chakra healing, some sort of energy healing, whatever your body needs. Any other? Oh, and flow like water. Beautiful. Card number 24, which in numerology reduces to 6, which is linked to the 6th house, as I was talking about health and well-being. So I feel like maybe getting into water, doing some sort of water ritual could be helpful. So taking a bath, or being out near the ocean, or a river, or a body of water, a lake, or something like that, or listening even to like, water sounds on YouTube or something, like, rain sounds or flowing water or something. That can sometimes be helpful to like relax. But more energetically speaking, this is about like, being able to connect with like going with the flow, not needing to control anything, not needing to force anything, just being able to like, connect with the flow of good things in your life, the flow of abundance, all of that kind of thing. I'm just seeing if there's any other messages coming through from this. Yeah, maybe some of you might be into swimming, or you might have had a hobby of swimming. Perhaps that like this could be a good chance to reconnect with that and go swimming, and like yeah, that could be very healing for you if you already are a swimmer. Let's finish up with a goddess card. Okay. Whoa, that came out extremely fast. Oh, that was also, apologies, pile 3. There might be messages in pile 2 for some of you as well. Maybe if only if you felt called to listen to that one. Oh, yeah, I feel like that one wants to come out. So we've got Irene with peace. Beautiful. Card number 8. Yeah, so I'm just noticing the little baby here. So maybe maybe some of you are becoming a mum or a parent or something. You could be giving birth or having a child, or you could have kids, and it could be, this could be something around like carving out some time for yourself to like really find a peaceful moment for yourself, to like cook for yourself, to maybe go swimming if that's a hobby that you were previously doing, or you know, connect in with your body, see what it needs. I did a reading with, like, I feel like there may be some messages. There was a reading that I did last year sometime with Goddess Irene, Greek goddess of peace, and yeah, I feel like there may be some messages in that particular reading, so it could be worth checking that out just for some of you if you feel called to it. It was something to do with like the peace and healing that is coming to you. I can't quite remember, it was quite a while ago, but yeah, there's something around cultivating more peace in your life. Maybe also I'm just noticing like the ocean in the background, and we've got flow like water. So yeah, maybe if there's been some turbulent emotions or turbulent, like particularly if you've been working really hard on some sort of creative project, it might have been quite stressful, or there's been like there's been sort of an energy of like trying to make something happen or something like that. And so I feel like Irene's coming through to help bring you peace, to kind of allow you so that you can feel more like calmer and feel more able to go with the flow a little bit more, and not need to sort of control something or be like, I'm hearing, be too perfectionistic about something. So maybe where, yeah, there's been some sort of creation that you're in the process of like completing or releasing into the world, or being judged on or something. Maybe you're being either struggling with perfectionism, which is a very Virgo trait actually. So that may come up with this full moon in Virgo. So this Irene energy can help you to like find peace within yourself, like not judge yourself too harshly, like be able to go with the flow more, be able to like also like I'm getting as well with as we spoke about with the strength card, if you're meeting any negative feedback from anyone, like Irene may also help, both Irene and Anana may help you to just kind of like let that go, like water off a duck's back kind of thing, like just to let go of other people's jealousy or criticism or whatever it might be, or projections, or you know, judgments or anything like that. If you're getting anything like that coming at you, any sort of conflict that's people are trying to like get you into conflict or drama or something, it's like you're able to kind of disconnect from that and find serenity, find peace, find the sort of like, yeah, emotional kind of serenity that you need, you know, with this like sort of peaceful ocean in the background. Yeah, I feel like those are all the messages that I have for you, pile number 3. I hope that resonated for you. Leave me a comment below if it did, or drop me an emoji. It really helps my channel so much. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps tell the algorithm what content is resonating for you guys at the moment. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of my community. Thank you so much for being here. All the best with your full moon in Virgo, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye.